How to figure out how long your food storage will last. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Good email from a subscriber or patron, I don't know, somebody, and asking me that, they had, lots of different preps, but they were trying to figure out how to figure out and how to keep track of how long their food storage would last. And it's a good question, a very good question, because this person was wanting to get in depth and stuff like that. They're talking about carbs and proteins and all these different things like that. And how do you figure out, she was trying, I think it's a woman, trying to make up like meals and then figure out, okay, this is so many meals for this day, and then that's okay, that's a day, and then, okay, these number of meals equal a week, etc. That's very complicated. Good on you for trying to do that, but if you have a small amount of food storage, or if you start doing that from the very beginning, that you might be able to do it that way. But how do I figure out how much food I have? Okay, so what I do is, she was talking also, do I discount calories? Well, calories don't take into account carbs, proteins, all those kind of things, fruits, vegetables. So I think the best way to approach it, and you may have a different way of doing it, that's fine. The way I do it, the way I approach it, is keep a detailed prepper notebook with all your preps in it. And then what I do is I use calories as a general term. Okay, so I know, how many calories per person per day, per week, per month, per year, stuff like that. Okay, but then I also track how many of my calories are from carbs, how many of my calories are from proteins. And I try to keep that fairly well balanced as far as a balanced diet. Understanding that the numbers of calories from carbs do not have to equal the calories from the number from proteins. But they need to be an appropriate amount for your diet, for how you eat, for how much protein you need in your diet. There are different dietary constraints for different people. Some people are larger, some people are smaller. Some people have more muscle mass, some people don't. Some people are vegan, some people are carnivore. There's a lot to take into account, so I can't just tell you exactly how you should do it. I can throw out some ideas, definitely, and that's what I'm here for. So I keep track of mainly calories. Calories are the big thing, because that's what will keep you alive. But then, like I said, I try to balance proteins and carbs. Okay, then after that, fruits and vegetables. I try to set it up where I am able to have a portion of vegetables and fruits approximately every other meal. Although I think the way I have it set up now, I'd have to double check, but basically fruits I think are, probably every other meal, maybe every third meal. So basically a portion or two of fruits a day. But then, due to having a big garden, canning, stuff like that, I try to set it up where I have a portion of vegetables every meal. And what does a portion mean? Portion doesn't necessarily mean portion size, because that's based on 3 meals a day, and that's based on the average American diet. Well, maybe not. That's based on okay, something just went bump in the woods over there. I went all around. Pretty sure it was a deer. Found some fresh deer tracks. But around here, living rural like this, that's why you got one of these. Kids are running around playing in the background. Sorry for the noise. Okay, let's get back to this. Vegetables, try to get in at least several servings a day. Fruit, I'd say at least 1 serving a day. The more balanced you can make your meals, the better, of course. But really the only realistic way to count how much food storage you have is by calories. But that's why we write all this stuff down. We don't just write down like calories and then, put our stuff in our food storage and write down, keep track of the calories. Kind of like seeds. How many seeds do you have of like this kind? Okay, well, just keep track of that. No, it's not as simple as that. Like I said, you got to balance the protein and the carbs. And you got to get fruits and vegetables in there also. So what I feel and the way I do it, the best way for me and for us is to, yes, gross look at the calories. And then micro inside that, pay attention to how well balanced it is. And then also what I do, another thing on top of that even, is try to keep a fairly decent balance between bulk dry goods, meaning like corn, wheat, beans, rice, lentils, all those kind of things. Keep a balance between those and what I call rations. They're rations. You don't have to prepare them, you don't have to cook them, it doesn't require any water or anything like that. You just eat them. Canned goods, like a can of corn, a can of roast beef, a can of green beans, whatever. That's rations. Also, survival bars, MREs also fall into this category. There's a lot of different foods that fall into the category of no preparation needed. All you can do is open a can, open a bag, something like that, and eat it. Peanut butter falls into that category. One of our family favorites is, because peanut butter, you just eat it. And then balance that and that with long-term like food storage buckets, like camping meals. Also, if you're interested in this style of foods, if you need to up your game in this area, I can save you some money. My Patriot Supply, I can save you if you follow my link in the description below. I believe it's the second link in the description. It's preparewithap.com. It's their Ready Hour food buckets. Really good. We use them. We cook with them. I mean, we don't cook with them very often, but I have tried all the different ones that I've received, and they've all been good. They've all been easy to prepare, and I feel that the caloric count is valuable. I mean, it's accurate. That's the word I'm looking for. And that's one thing that's important about those food buckets, like the 3 days of food or whatever it may be, or a month of food. You got to pay attention to the caloric value. Are you actually getting a decent amount of calories during those 3 days? Now, usually it's not up to par as far as a survival situation when you're using, 8,000 calories a day. Okay, it doesn't count for that. This is to keep you alive type stuff. But there are some brands that have less, some brands that have more calories. These Ready Hour foods from My Patriot Supply are very good. I feel they're very good. And they taste good. They do stuff like that. Like I say, we try not to use them all the time because we want to store them, stockpile them. Okay, daughter and granddaughter came to say hi to me. They're out running around playing in the woods like two little fairies. That's another reason why this out here in the woods. We have cougar here. We have bears. We have coyotes. There are species out here that could pose a threat. So anytime I go in the woods, I always have something to protect myself with. And my family, very important. So, having a balance, first, back to the buckets, yes. Obviously, I don't use them all because I want to stockpile them. But we stockpile them, and I highly recommend them. As far as a company to go with, everything I've seen, I'm very happy with. So, try that out if you need to up your game in that category. That's part of the equation. So we try to balance, we count calories, then we try to balance proteins and carbs, but then you also try to balance in fruits and vegetables, and you got to balance how you store your food, or what kinds you store. The dry goods, the canned goods, rations, and then like the bucketed type food, the freeze-dried stuff. So those are 3 different categories that I kind of put my stuff in. And then, so it's kind of like a game. You just like, okay, you got this category, or you got all these calories. Then you got, this much is carbs, this much is protein. Then it's split up into, rations. It's split up into dry goods. It's split up into freeze-dried, bucketed foods, whatever, long-term type stuff. That's another thing. Look at how your shelf life works. This is complicated. I know. I get it. It sounds more complicated than it is maybe, but also mix it up by how long foods last. Shelf life. Shelf life is important. We want some foods that have a very, very long shelf life. Some other foods don't necessarily have to have a super long shelf life, but we still want to have lots of them on hand because it may be a short-term event that we're looking at. Whatever happens, we prep for a wide variety of things that may happen, right? Yes. The more we can be prepared for, the better off we'll be. So you want to have some of those shorter shelf life terms. Is you don't want to have all just 25, 30-year shelf life stuff, because then you'd be missing a lot of other things. So take a look at shelf life. Take a look at all the other things I talked about. But mainly tailor it to your dietary needs. Some people I know are, like I said, vegetarian. Some people are carnivores. Some people eat pork. Some people don't. Some people eat fish. Some people don't. All this stuff. Insight into my life. We don't eat pork. We don't eat fish or shellfish. And it doesn't matter the reason why. We just don't do it. We eat primarily in our diet is beef, chicken, and turkey. Pretty much that's all we eat. Sometimes we'll get some goat from a farm, some sheep, from somewhere local, bison if we can get it, yeah. Deer, yes, elk, yes, but primarily beef, turkey, chicken. So yeah, and we try to incorporate lots of fruits and vegetables in our diet. We try to eat healthy, whole, natural foods. We want stuff as processed as little as possible, because health, diet and nutrition is such an important part of our overall health and our overall ability to be strong and to be capable of doing the things that we're going to need to do in a scenario and in everyday life. Running around here after 2 kids and 2 grandkids that I got over here right now, yeah, my hands are full. Trust me, it's hard to come out. I had to come out of the woods, walk around for a little bit, collect my thoughts, get my brain to think and not be overwhelmed by all the requests, But anyway, so they're running around like little fairies right now. What was I getting at? Nutrition, health, fitness. Fitness is part of it. Fitness is multifaceted. We got mental fitness, we have spiritual fitness, and we have physical fitness. We have to mind all 3. And I recommend, I advocate, I ask you to please try to minimize the processed junk in your diet. Get away from the standard American diet. Get into healthy, whole, natural foods. Allow your taste buds time to change away from standard American foods, fast foods, all this stuff like that. It's very, very salty, very, very processed type flavors. Take time. It's a process. You work your way, you wean your way off of that junk. And then your taste buds, like salt. I do use some seasonings that have salt in them, but we use very, very little salt in our cooking. We get enough sodium in our diets. Yeah. If I was ever worried about that, I would put salt in specifically to make sure that we're getting the sodium. But we get sodium in our diets. That's not necessarily a concern right now, because we don't eat perfect. Sundays are our free day. That's like pesto, pizza, whatever we want to eat on Sundays. We try not to overdo it though. So what you eat is very important. As close to the earth is important. If you can source your food from natural, organic, local farmers and ranchers, then great. If you can grow it and raise it yourself, even better. Because if you've never tasted fruits and vegetables from your garden that you grow, from well composted, well fertilized, organically, fruits and vegetables, oh man, your mind will be blown. Tomatoes from the store are so just blah. There's like not much flavor. Tell you what, my tomatoes, oh man, carrots also, beets, Oh man, and my green beans, oh man, so good. They're so sweet. We just go out there and pick them and eat them just like raw all the time. Please, I hope that you guys are taking your health seriously. And your health is, like I mentioned, a lot of things. You got mental health, spiritual health, and physical health. The foods you eat. Let food be thy medicine. What you put in your body is very important. It needs to be high quality foods. You don't need a ton of it. That's another thing. Don't overeat. Let your body tell you, talk to you. And if you need filler foods, use things like celery, lettuce. Eat lots of salads. It's a good way to fill you up, but not with junk. Don't snack on crackers all the time, chips. And don't take this as me preaching at you. I'm not preaching at you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. You have free will. I would never encroach upon that. I just am trying to encourage you guys to be more healthy, because the healthier you are, the more effective you're going to be in the fight, or in your garden, or out here foraging, or out here bugging out, or dealing with threats, or whatever it may be. Playing with your grandkids. You want to be healthy. You want to live a long time, because no matter what you think, there's somebody out there that cares about you. There's probably a lot of people out there that care about you, and we want to live a healthy, happy life. Very important. I hope I answered the question well. I hope I made some good points. I think it's a really good way of approaching it. Is it still a little complicated? Yes, you still need to track some things. That's why it is imperative to write it down. If you don't write it down, keep it on an Excel spreadsheet, something like that. I like paper. I like writing it down on a notebook, because no matter what, if I have power, no power, whatever happens, I can grab that notebook and look at it. And that's a source of inspiration. I can grab that notebook, look through and go, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, we're good to go. My family's not going to starve. Anyway, I love you guys. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, do all the things to help with the algorithm, ring the notification bell for all. If you're not getting my videos in the feeds because of the algorithm, then go to my page, click the video tab, all the videos will still be there. Love you guys. Prep a little every day and make prepping fun. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.